The closest wild animal encounters. Encounters with animals are a common occurrence in everyday life, whether you're a nature lover, a zoo visitor, or someone who owns 1,000 cats. However, these interactions can sometimes be fatal. Hence, we've compiled a list of the closest wild animal encounters. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell as we look into these terrifying scenes. Gored by an elk. According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, a lady was gored by a bull elk at Missouri's Lone Elf Park while wandering among the park's 17 animals and snapping selfies with 3 other individuals. Elks are one of the biggest deer species, second only to moose in terms of size and weight. According to the Missouri Department of Conservation, adult males may grow to be 9 feet or 3 meters long and weigh up to 830 pounds or 376 kilograms. However, despite warnings urging tourists to keep at least 100 feet away from the elk, the group got close to the herd. Luckily, a nature photographer nearby saw the incident happening and shouted a warning as the male elk attacked the group. According to the Post-Dispatch, the elk's horns collided with a woman's arm, causing her to bleed. Shark bite for the gram. Katerina Zarutsky, a 19-year-old Instagram model and a University of Miami student, was on vacation with her boyfriend and his family in the Bahamas' Exumas Islands. At that time, she attempted to pose for photographs in the water with a group of baby sharks. Unfortunately, one of the sharks bit down on Zarutsky's wrist, most likely mistaking her hand for food. Zarutsky was able to maintain her composure, withdrew her hand from the shark's mouth, and exit the water without sustaining any major injuries. Selfies with wild animals are risky business, as a forest ranger in Jalpaiguri, India discovered the hard way. Sanjay Dutta and his team of rangers grabbed a big snake that they suspected of devouring local goats and wanted to take a picture with it. For a shot, Dutta placed the reptile around his neck, but instead of smiling for the camera, it strangled the ranger until it was removed. Luckily, Dutta was unharmed, and the snake was later released into a forest away from nearby fields. Crushed by an elephant. In Zimbabwe, an elephant killed a safari leader and big game hunter after it was shot by a member of his hunting group. 3 female elephants raced at the hunters at the Good Luck Ranch in Zimbabwe's Hwange National Park, surprising a breeding herd of elephants. The safari leader fired a shot at the rushing females, but he was seized by a 4th female who raised him with her trunk. When one of the party members shot the elephant, she threw herself on the safari leader, crushing him to death. Grabbed by a sea lion. A little girl was hauled from a pier in Vancouver, British Columbia, when a sea lion seized the hem of her garment and dragged her into the water. The scene was recorded on camera and uploaded to YouTube. The footage shows the girl cowering at the dock's edge as the sea lion swims close by, maybe drawn in by humans inviting it with food. The animal quickly let her go, and seconds later, an adult leaped into the water and dragged the girl to safety. British Columbia told Live Science, "I don't think it was a sign of an animal being aggressive or trying to harm the child," he said. Sea lions aren't usually on our list of most deadly animals. They are, nevertheless, dangerous, as are most creatures. Another incident with sea lions happened when swimming across the bay in San Francisco. A swimmer was confronted with an unsafe quantity of agitation. On the way, a sea lion approached him and bit him on the arm. The man was understandably unable to swim after being bitten on the arm. Fortunately for him, a sailboat nearby saw his apparent plight and came to his aid. The man was quickly brought aboard and saved from drowning. Mountain lion. Hikers, mountain bikers, and other adventurous explorers must be prepared to face the elements of the outdoors. They must contend with poison ivy, hidden roots, and other obstacles to having a good time that is frequently concealed from view. The mountain lion is another of these terrifying creatures. One of the most dangerous predators in the highlands is the mountain lion. With razor-sharp claws and fangs, the beast may weigh up to 200 pounds, extend to approximately 8 feet in length, and tear you to bits. An 8-year-old child had to fend off one of these mountain lions with a stick. Fortunately, his perseverance paid off, and the mountain lion moved away. He was exceptionally fortunate in this regard. Wolves. Wolves aren't usually a source of concern in everyday life. They tend to avoid areas that are densely populated by humans. They won't be wandering around Times Square seeking a Nordstrom's clothes, for example. They can, however, be found in national parks and forests in densely forested areas. A close encounter with this creature happened in Canada's famous Banff National Park. A wolf came from the woods to try to take a guy from his tent. The wolf, who appeared to be famished and elderly, was searching for a quick meal. However, while the guy was being dragged, his pleas for assistance had prompted another hiker nearby to intervene. The two guys were able to scare the beast away by working together. Polar bear. Very few places on the planet can match northern Canada's relentless roughness, and a bunch of unwitting visitors discovered this the hard way. A party of brave tourists saw a polar bear out in the distance while hiking in the Torngat Mountains National Park in the Canadian Arctic. The land-dwelling predator drew closer to them. A flare shot at the bear and then another was enough to scare it away. However, the advantage they had acquired would be short-lived. While the bear kept a few hundred yards away from the tent throughout the night, the camp was awakened by one man being pulled from his tent by the beast. The hikers were drawn to the scene by screams and the worry that their companion had vanished. The man's jaw was broken when he was grabbed by the skull. The man recognized his predicament when he was pulled about 75 feet from the trekker's tent. What he quickly discovered, though, was that his buddies, at least 5 or 6 of them, had been chasing after him. They were yelling, making as much noise as they could, and eventually doing everything they could to get their friend dismissed. Fortunately for him, he was able to flee. As the bear dragged him away, his buddies followed it and fired another flare in its direction. After seeing the flare, the bear swiftly dropped the victim to the ground and ran away. Before the bear returned, his companions were able to bring him to safety. The man's survival is most likely due to the prompt efforts of his loyal pals. Hungry hippos. Hippos are frequently underestimated in terms of their threat. To begin with, they weigh about 3,300 and 4,500 pounds. As a result, they're highly hazardous. However, the majority of people are unaware that they murder more people each year than the majority of top predators in the African plains. For example, when a woman's safari tour boat capsized last year, she was attacked by a hippo. A hippo appeared beneath her and her husband while they were sifting through the waves in a canoe. The hippo pulled the woman beneath as she tried to swim to land. The tour leader was able to grab her and drag her ashore safely. Thank goodness, the woman was able to escape to safety and recuperate after first aid was administered. She escaped with her life by a hair's breadth. People are attacked by wild animals because humans have invaded their habitat and made them feel threatened. So we have to be extra careful when we visit their territories. You remember the drill: hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and post this video.